Hey guys, what's up? So, friends, today our chapter is Gender, Religion, and Caste. It is the fourth chapter of class 10 polity. So, let's get start. So, we know there are certain sexual divisions of labor in most families. Okay, sexual division of labor in most families can be seen. The gender division is a form of hierarchical division seen everywhere. It is not based on biology but on social expectations and stereotypes. So this type of gender division is usually based on the social expectations and stereotypes, and it is a form of hierarchical division. The woman's work is not valued and does not get recognized, even though they do some paid work in addition to domestic labor. And the more radical women's movements aimed at equality in personal and family life as well. These movements are called feminist movements. So some of the feminist movements are there. So what is mean by the feminist movements? Feminist movements are more radical women's movements aimed at equality in personal and family life as well. And then the feminist. The word feminist means a woman or a man who believes in equal rights and opportunities for women and men. So a feminist is a woman or a man who believes in equal rights and opportunities for women and men. Then the Scandinavian countries such as Sweden, Norway and Finland, the participation of women in public life is very high. So in India, in major of public institutions or public places, the woman participation is very less. But in the Scandinavian countries, there is a major woman participation in public life. Ours is still a male-dominated or a patriarchal society, and the women face disadvantage, discrimination, and oppressions. And next is about an act, the Equal Remuneration Act 1976. Okay, Equal Remuneration Act 1976. It provides that equal wages should be paid to equal work. Okay, the Equal Remuneration Act 1976 provides that equal wages should be paid to equal work. But still, the women are paid less than man in various working places. The parents find ways to have the girl child aborted before she is born. So in most families, the parents find ways to have the girl child aborted before she is born. Such sex selective abortion led to a decline in child sex ratio. So in our India, the mortality of girl child is in an increased manner earlier, but still there is some of girl child mortalities or deaths are taking place in some of the rural areas. So such sex selective abortion led to a decline in child sex ratio. They are not safe even within their own home from beating, harassment and other forms of domestic violences. So our women who are not safe even within their own home from beating, harassment and other forms of domestic violences. And also the urban areas have become unsafe for women. In India, the proportion of women in legislature has been very low. So in the field of legislature, the proportion of women is also low. So and also the terms like communalism, casteism is also given in this chapter. When the demands of one religious groups are formed in opposition to another, and when state power is used to establish domination of one religious group over the rest, this manner of using religion in politics is communal politics. So friends, what is mean by the term communal politics? Sometimes there will be some dominated religious groups, and these groups can take some can demand or can establish domination of one religious groups over the rest, so that these dominated groups also use some of the state power. Okay, when the demands of one religious groups are formed in opposition to another, and when the state power is used to establish domination of one religious groups over the rest, this manner of using religion in politics is known as communal politics. The communal politics is based on the assumption that the religion is the principal basis of social community. So, the communal politics is based on the fact or assumption that the religion is the principal basis of social community. And communalism also can take various forms in politics. Some of them are here. So, the first form in which the communalism can take place in politics is, sometimes the communalism takes its most ugly forms of communal violence, riots and massacre. So, these types of communalism can form various ways in politics, like they can take some of the forms like communal violence, riots, massacre, etc. The political mobilization on religious lines. Okay, that means this include use of sacred symbols, religious leaders, emotional appeal in order to bring the followers of the religion together in the political arena. So friends, this communalism taking various forms in politics. So in the case of politics, there may be some of the communal violences, riots or massacre, and also this involved the political mobilization on religious lines involves the use of sacred symbols, religious leaders, emotional appeals to bring the followers of the religion together in the political arena. The majoritarian dominance can be seen in a majority religion. Okay, a majoritarian dominance can be seen in a majority religion. The political dominance under religious community. So, friends, when there is a political influence on a regional dominant community, then that will lead to a majoritarian dominance of that religion. Okay, so that will also lead to a religious community overall. The expression of communalism in everyday beliefs, religious prejudices, stereotypes of religious communities and beliefs in superiority of one's religion over other religions. So, the expression of communalism, which can be seen in everyday beliefs, stereotypes of religious communities, beliefs in superiority of one's religion over other religions. And then the next is secular state. Unlike the status of Buddhism in Sri Lanka, that of Islam in Pakistan and that of Christianity in England, our constitution does not give a special status to any religion. Okay, our constitution, as per our constitution, our India does not give any special status to any religion. The constitution provides freedom to profess, practice, propagate any religion or not to follow anyone. The constitution prohibits discrimination on grounds of religion, and the untouchability has not entered completely despite the constitutional prohibition. So, still untouchability is here in India. The Prime Minister's high level community committee, that is Sachar committee. So you may hear about the term Sachar committee. So it is a prime minister's high level committee. This states that the proportion of Muslims is expected to go up a little by about 3 to 4% in the next 50 years. So the Sachar, according to Sachar committee, it is stating that the proportion of the Muslims is expected to go up a little by about 3 to 4% in the next 50 years. In 2011, the SC categories were 16.6% and STs were 8.6%. The SC, ST and OBC, which accounts for 2/3 of country's total population. Okay. Then comes the occupational mobility. The shift from one occupation to another, usually when a new generation takes up occupations other than those practiced by their ancestors. So earlier times, the generations were practiced the labors by their ancestors, but now the new generations are taking various different jobs, and from that their ancestral old jobs. Okay, then comes the caste hierarchy. Caste hierarchy is a manner like a ladder, so that there is a distribution of caste from higher to lower level. Every caste has some members who are rich, and this upper caste are heavily overrepresented among the rich, while the lower caste are severely underrepresented. So it is saying that in a type of caste hierarchy, there is a ladder like distribution of caste is there, so that the upper caste are overrepresented among the rich, and the lower caste are severely underrepresented. Some political parties are known to favor some caste are seen as their representatives. Okay, some political parties are known to favor some caste. So we know some of the political parties in some of the regional political parties are influenced by some of the caste. Okay, and they elect their representatives based on their caste. No parliamentary constituency in the country has a clear majority of the single caste. So we know in our India, no parliamentary constituency in the country has a clear majority of a single caste, but instead every candidate and party heads to win the confidence of more than one caste to win election. So in order to in order to win a representative, there must be more than the people involved in the casting of votes from more than two castes of people. Okay, and the backward caste groups and forward caste groups are there in India, and now there are more than 10 lakh elected women representatives in rural and urban local bodies. So when we compared with the earlier situations, now in India there are more than 10 lakh elected women representatives in rural and urban local bodies. So in glossary we can see what is meant by the occupational mobility. It is a shift from one occupation to another, usually when a new generation takes up occupations other than those practiced by their ancestors. That is meant by the occupational mobility. So still there is caste inequality is there in India. It's politics in caste. So through only single caste majority or people single caste, we can't elect any representatives in the high position. So more than two castes must be there which are involved or involved in the process of government. So friends, solve our chapter. Have a nice day guys. Thank you so much.